Okay, welcome class. We're going to do number 4 here, a vector addition of 30 kilometers west. Can I draw on the screen? There we go. And 20 kilometers, 60 degrees north of east. So let's just envision what it actually looks like. So we'll draw a 30 kilometer an hour west vector. 30 kilometer west. And then from the head of that, we're going 60 degrees north of east. So 60 degrees north of east in this direction. Let's see if I can draw a second vector here. And that's only going to be about 20. So maybe 60 degrees looks kind of like maybe like that. So the resultant vector, I will make green in a second. It'll start off red, but I'll change it to green. That's the resultant vector. Make it green and make it thinner. That's the resultant vector, and that's what we wanted to label. That's what our end result vector is going to be. Okay? And we want to be able to figure out what that angle is and what the length of that green vector is. But to do so, we have to break up that 20 kilometers at 60 degrees north of east vector into its components. So it's 20 kilometers, 60 degrees. We want to find out its y component and its x component. So the y component, this length is 20. The y component will be 20 sine 60. And its x component will be 20 cosine 60. Change back to red. Pull up the calculator, and we'll go 20 sine 60 and 20 cosine 60. And the sine one is 17.32, and the cosine one is exactly 10. Okay, so that's that vector broken into its components. We have the other vector of 30 kilometers west. So there's our two vectors in the red, two different red boxes. This one will be east. This part of it will be north. So we now have to combine them together. So how do we combine them together? Well, we add the east and the west together. So we'll take the 30 kilometers west plus the 10 kilometers east, and we're going to get an answer of 20 kilometers west. And we're going to also take the north component, and there's only one north component in this one, and that's the 17.32. So there's a 17.32 kilometers north. So that's the answer. But it's not in the neatest format. That's the resultant when we add those two together. That's the green arrow. That's its components of the green arrow. Okay, so the green arrow, let's switch over to green, in this direction, has a 20 this way and a 17.32 that way. So we now just have to combine them back together. So Pythagoras will tell us that we have to go 20 squared plus 17.32 squared, all square rooted, will give us that resultant length. And we have to do then the inverse tan to get the angle. The angle, which angle are we looking at? Let's draw it in red here. It's that angle there. And that angle will be the inverse tan of the y, 17.32, divided by the x, which is 20. And Mr. Calculator says, it's correct too. So inverse square root of 20 squared, oh 20, I did 10, plus, and then that number squared. Take that number and square it. So here we go. This length here is 26.46 kilometers. I'm going to highlight that. Don't want the numbers to be lost. That's the length. That's the number we want. And then I did 10 down here on my calculations. I have to do 20. So it's the inverse tan of that 17.13 divided by 20. And I get an angle of 40.89 degrees. So to write down the whole vector, let's get rid of the calculator. The resultant vector, and I'll do it in green, is 26.46 kilometers at an angle of 40.89 degrees. And now I need my direction, and that direction will be north of west. There we go. That's the answer. Take a picture. Done.